Back in 2012, and to a smaller extent in 2013, there was a lot of hype for the Hunger Games. That was when the movie Hunger Games and its well-received sequel, Catching Fire, were released. Then 2014 came around and the hype for this franchise seemed to die down a bit. It rose a bit in 2015 when the finale hit, but it was greatly overshadowed by another movie coming out a couple weeks later.
Chewie, we're home.
The Mockingjay movies were one of the franchises criticized for splitting the final book into two movies after Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows set that particular precedent. Now, if you thought that this video would be amongst the voices criticizing Mockingjay for doing this, you would be
wrong, sir. Wrong.
I'm not going to directly state it, but as this video goes along, you should hopefully get the sense as to why I think Lionsgate made the right call on that one. Towards the end of Catching Fire, Rebels managed to get Katniss Everdeen and Finnick Odair out of the Quarterquell, a major accomplishment given that escaping was unprecedented in Hunger Games history, even with what little the audience know of the 10th annual Hunger Games. Despite this, and the various implied skirmishes and riots happening throughout Panem, you still get the sense that the capital is
large and in charge!
There is even a scene towards the beginning of Mockingjay Part 1 that reinforces this fact, where President Snow gives a mandatory televised speech to compelled crowds before faceless individuals are executed in front of them. What we, the audience, are aware of is that the capital still maintains a tight grip on 11 districts, with District 13 about ready to announce its survival and return, and District 12 having been destroyed. And while we aren't shown the bombing of District 12, Gale simply tells us what went down, we, the audience, are shown the aftermath of it. The next time the audience is shown the war, it is when Katniss is taken to District 8. At this point, the Capitol Peacekeepers have somehow been booted from District 8 off-screen, and now they need to survive airstrikes the Capitol is occasionally launching in retaliation. Up to this point, the movie focused on life in District 13, Katniss becoming the Mockingjay, and how terrible she is at acting.
People of Panem, we fight, we dare, we... I know it, I'm sorry. She's warming up.
This isn't the worst example of my major gripe with Mockingjay Part 1, as District 8 isn't completely free of the Capitol quite yet, but it is the first major example of it. Following the events of Katniss's trek into District 8 and the subsequent propo the rebels made, we are then shown a skirmish taking place in District 7. The movie implies that this is when District 7 is freed, and while I get the sense that it should take more skirmishes than the one was shown, I'm going to give this movie the benefit of the doubt and say that by this point in the movie, Districts 7 and 8 are now free. Katniss then sings a song called The Hanging Tree, which is turned into a propo that people from District 5 sing as they storm the dam, supplying the capital with power. And to be frank, had there been a few more peacekeepers present, that assault would have failed. But it didn't, and now the capital is without power, and I'm going to declare District 5 free. The capital is still a threat, as their next move is to launch airstrikes at District 13. And if not for their desire to one day hold District 13 again, a dream they really should have given up on, they could have actually destroyed that district. Once the bombing raid is over, there is a silent raid on the capital that only succeeds because Snow allowed it to. Once the captive victors are freed, District 13 President Coin announces the imminent arrival of a new Panem, one that now requires the beating the capital at District 2 and the capital itself. Wait. Did they just have District 2 and the capital to handle now? When did all of these districts get freed? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy they are, but I would have liked to see that. How did District 11, with one of the tightest grips on it, get free? This is one of my greatest gripes with Mockingjay Part 1. So much happens in this movie, and yet... Well, let's have Screen Junkies explain it.
And cut.
Hello, SpongeBob. Could you keep it down? I'm trying to be boring.
So much happens in this movie, and we're shown a tiny bit of it. My gripes with Part 2 aren't quite as severe or convoluted, especially since Part 1 left Part 2 with two primary objectives, the nut in District 2 and the Capitol itself. And throughout much of Part 2, you get the sense that the Capitol is going to fall and that there is nothing the Capitol can do about it. Despite previous videos of mine basically stating the same thing, that is not what you want in a movie. Give us a reason to think that the Capitol could still come out on top. Maybe President Snow has a secret weapon that could win him the war, and the rebels need to capture the Capitol before this weapon could be completed. Maybe the Capitol is amassing a force high up in Canada, and the Capitol needs to surrender before this massive force can retake all of the districts in Snow's name. Maybe there is a massive force within the belly of the Capitol that Snow will deploy to retake Panem once all of the rebels are killed by Capitol defenses. Spoilers for the Aragon series of books, but that was actually Galbatorix's plan. He basically ruled the Brothering Empire, or the Empire for short. The Empire controlled so much land in the first two novels, yet as the war progressed, the Empire slowly lost ground to its enemies. Yet by the time the Varden, dwarves, and the almighty elves converged outside of the Empire's capital of Yerebain, there was still this sense that Galbatorix could beat the good guys and his armies could reclaim the Empire afterwards. In other words, the Chad Galbatorix versus the Virgin Snow. Not literally, since Snow somehow managed to have a granddaughter, but still, you get the point. While Galbatorix still had a shot at victory until the very end, when Aragon casts an empathy spell on him, Snow is basically doomed throughout the movie, and he doesn't even launch into a massive tirade about it. Though I was pleased that we get some sense that imminent defeat is eating away at him. Overall, I would have liked to see more of the conflict between the capital and the districts. Hell, I wouldn't mind contributing to a movie called Mockingjay District 11, which tells the story of a band of rebels living in District 11 who have to destroy a nearby capital airfield before they can liberate their district. Hell, the world Suzanne Collins built up in her novels has a lot of potential for great stories and movies. There could be a horror-based Hunger Games movie where the Capitol creates mutts based off of common Halloween monsters. There could be a political thriller that takes place before the Dark Days that explains why the Dark Days happened to begin with. Maybe a police thriller where cops in New Panem are confronted by terrorists loyal to the Snow-era Capitol. But what do you all think? Are there changes you would like to see made to the Mockingjay movies? Are there other stories in Panem, or perhaps surrounding Panem, you would like to see told? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section down below and subscribe to Media Dunce.